So I just got finished watching a new episode of the PBS Idea channel. Great channel, great show, love it. And he was talking about, are you literally you right now when you re-vlog a post that is an icon or GIF that you tag me RN, literally me right now, or etc. And he was talking about, his validation and his universal concepts and all that stuff. And it made me think, there are people who would watch this and be like, why are you overanalyzing this? We're just joking around. We're just all stupid on the internet. And I respect that because, it is a very unique time in history for us to be so colloquial that we invent a formal colloquial. There is a formal colloquial on the internet. If you just go on the internet and just talk normally, you will look weird. You will look like a normie. If you're on a forum, there's a formality to it. There's a way you structure your posts, even if it is just a few letters. There are times when missing capitalization is an important piece to get your point across. There are times when, misspelling something gets your point across. There's times when you just need to lurk more. There are times when you're interrupting a conversation, instead of giving a detailed rebuttal, what you really should do in the formality of it is just go 3 words, just like, what about shit? What about Peter? What about your first sentence? Instead of pointing something out, you won't usually say on an IRC or a forum or an image board, you misspelled the letter in your first sentence. You'll say, reread your first sentence, dumbass. There's a big formal colloquial on it, especially on 4chan. Oh my god. There is so much colloquial formality on 4chan. Because you can fucking tell a 4chan user from a not common 4chan user by just reading a few posts. There's a formality to it, especially on /B. But what I want to talk about is, when in history has there been a point most like this, where there's been a medium that people use, and that a very immature youth has been very immature on, but has been immature on it for so long that we've developed our own formality. People who join the internet now in the post-username universe of social media and Facebook are very immature because they don't know how to use the internet correctly yet. People on Facebook and people on Twitter of the newer generation are struggling. It's part of the reason why there's so many, bullying incidents and suicide and all that stuff, is because it's a clash of people who know how to use the internet and people who don't know how to use the internet, and clashes between, bullies and things that find more efficient ways to bully people and everything. But the reason why that didn't happen in the past is because my generation of the internet users, people who started using the internet maybe 2004, not 2004, but hung out with the people who used the internet during 2004, went on forums, used animation portals, IRC, a little bit of AIM, we went through that phase of being a noob, and it was okay. We were taunted for being a noob, and we were told, stop being a noob. Lurk more, learn how to properly function on the internet, and you will be fine here. It's the Wild West. You walk into the Wild West, and you accidentally start a bar fight. You're like, oh shit, I'm gonna shut my mouth, and I'm gonna learn how to properly function in a Western bar. And we all kind of leveled out, I love to use RuneScape as an example, or any other real MMO with a lot of text-based communication. I like RuneScape particularly because I have history with it, and because the text appears over people's heads and all that. Very iconic of that era of the internet, 2006-ish. And there was a formality to it, a colloquial formality, that had been developed since the age of the MUDs, multi-user online dungeon. People nowadays, they're thrust right into the intermediate level with no beginner level. So they don't have time, and there really isn't a format yet The only format I can tell for the modern colloquial formality is Tumblr, because I feel like every social media site has been trying to make their own version of Tumblr's attitude. Tumblr's attitude is a very well-defined medium because it's you get through so much media in one sitting of scrolling through Tumblr. When you're on a forum, you can scroll through so many threads and get all that stuff. When you're on Facebook, though, I've seen people scroll through Facebook and it just doesn't have the same feeling. On Tumblr, you get this sense of you expect what's coming next based on the people you follow. On Facebook and Twitter and shit, like sponsored posts come in, and I know there's sponsored posts in Tumblr, but you can tell. Sponsored post comes in, things that your friends of friends reblog that end up on your feed. The feed isn't a structured, concrete thing. On Tumblr, it's a concrete thing. You know that when your friends post, repost, reblog, or do anything, you will see that on your feed. Everything that happens comes on your feed. It doesn't filter anything out or put anything extra in. That's why Tumblr is so aged and mature in their immaturity. That's why if you look on, like, if you search hashtag Tumblr on Tumblr or on my blog, you'll see Tumblrisms. Stretches of line that just have this hilarious formality because people know how to respond. And memes, it's such a great meme generating site because it has... The reason why Tumblr and 4chan hate each other so much, other than the social and, the reasonable side, is because they're both aged. 4chan is well-aged over time, but Tumblr aged up to a level very, very quickly and caught up with 4chan. On 4chan, you can have a string of things that, like, you expect will happen. This person posts this, someone memes, someone makes fun of them, and then this happens and it's fucking hilarious. You know, the big green text stories, all that stuff. But on Tumblr, it has its own thing too. People know if you're in the month that this meme was popular. I don't know if it's still popular, but meme generating sites is how it works. If you see a few posts and you get the joke, within 2 days you get the joke. And then what you see is you see someone post something and you see them post Barack Obama. And that's it. No picture or anything. Maybe a picture. You know what's coming next. You know that it's going to be Barack Obama. And then you scroll down a bit and then it's like with a gun. It's a meme that probably a lot of you don't know about. It's probably dead by now, but it's like Barack Obama with a gun. A book with a gun. It's stupid memes like that. Like, if you want to know about meme generation, look at the last meme of 2014. In December of 2014, a meme came out that was Crave Dat Mineral. It's about BBC documentary or something with goats that would climb up all the way up this 90-degree rock face to get to a plant or a rock or something that they would eat. And the person on the announcer was like, they really crave that mineral. They strive very long to get that mineral. They go up to blah, blah, or something. And then Crave Dat Mineral became a meme, the goats. And then people were like, wow, this meme's going to be the last meme of 2014 because the end of the year is approaching. And then the last 2 weeks of December, about 20 memes popped up that were just ended up fighting for that spot of the last meme of 2014. And if you want to know a little story on meme generation, you'll realize you can probably tell what comes next. The last meme of 2014 became the last meme of 2014 because a post came out that said, guys, I know what the last meme of 2014 is going to be. Is it Crave Dat Mineral? Is it this? Is it that? No, it's the last meme of 2014. And then someone made this post. It was the live-action Last Airbender movie, but with all the main memes on it. The goat was in the front, Crave Dat Mineral, and then the other memes and all that. And it was the last meme of 2014 was the title of the movie. And people accepted that, and then the year rolled over, and then they continued. Formality of colloquialism. It's highly developed on Tumblr and other places, and we have that sophisticated, and we know how to deal with each other. On sites that use real names and don't use usernames, they're held back by being normal in a bit. And so Facebook thinks it's just so volatile, and people just don't get each other, and because they don't have that colloquialism, because they see people's real names and assume that they need to talk in a way that translates well into real life. We know they should embrace that it's a different reality and that people should embrace that as a different reality and should treat it that way and make their own colloquial formalities for that website. And what I've been wondering, I keep getting new tangents so I don't get to it, but what I wonder is, was the point in history that most reflects the internet now, between now and 2004, where there's formal colloquialisms, people, a generation that's so immature that they have structured immaturity. Memes, stuff like that. The only thing I could guess is Shakespeare. Because Shakespeare, a lot of Shakespeare plays are fucking just dicking around, being stupid, and there's a formality to the idiocy and all that. I wonder what other times, you know. There's a classic joke of, you know, the Egyptians had made the first lolcats, you know, that old meme. You know, it's like, what was the point in history that people were the most comfortable with new technology of media, that they joked around with it to a point where there was a structure that people could come in and learn how to have an attitude. When was the first instance of having to lurk more in a media society? I wonder. Printing press? I don't know. Goodbye, everybody. This is hashtag NotAVlog. I'm not a vlogger. Goodbye, everybody. Damn, I'm still on camera.